All right, kiddos, here we go. We're going to make a drawing file. So this is worth 5 points of the Lego project, and you're going to pick your 3 most unique pieces that you've designed on your own. So ideally not from my videos. 3 pieces that you custom designed, and you're going to put together a drawing file. So I'm going to show you how to set that up right now, and then you'll go do your 3. Then you'll take screenshots and put it onto your document that's linked onto your page, and then let me know when you get the grade check. Okay, so these are parts that I've made, so I'm just going to go ahead and, we'll do the 6x6 curve piece. So I told it to open that part file. That's not actually what I want. So while it's thinking about this, we will, what I really want is a new. Come on. Okay, we're going to go to new. We're not making a new part file. We're not making our assembly. You've probably done both of those already, or you're working on them. We're going to be doing the drawing file. And just like we're seeing in this sample right here, we're going to make a drawing file that looks kind of like that. So the goal with the drawing file is that if somebody said, oh wow, I love that part, or I really need that part, they should be able to look at your drawing file and get most of the information, ideally all the information, that they would need to recreate that part. Okay, first we're going to pick the size sheet that we want. A size A sheet is your standard piece of paper, so 8.5 by 11. B, C, D, E, these just keep getting bigger and bigger, whereas a size E is a ginormous poster. So we're going to choose a size A, that way the text will look good. I usually go with the landscape, but if you have a part that would look better on a portrait piece of paper that's taller than it is wide, you're welcome to do that also. So I'm going to choose landscape, and I'm going to say OK. Once we get into the drawing file, it's going to look like this. You should get the option for model view to bring in a part. Now the one I'm going to use is a 6x6, but if that's not the part you wanted, you can just click on browse and go find the part you actually wanted to make the drawing file of. So we'll go ahead and click on that, and it's going to bring it in with what it considers to be a front view. Okay, so and you can see the outside profile of it. It's not showing you the whole image, but it's showing you the box that would fit within. If that's not the view you want, if you click preview, I believe it'll show you the whole thing. Okay, so if that's not what I want the front view to be, I could change it to one of the other 6 views or an isometric right here. But it is a good view for us. So I'm going to go ahead and click, and it automatically toggled us to now projected view. So I can now project my other view. So I'm going to, from that front view, I'm going to project a top view. I'm going to project off a right side view, and I'm going to project off an isometric view. And by clicking all of those, they all now become visible. And we're going to go ahead and say OK, because that'll shut down projected view. Now if I go back to my isometric and I click on it, it's going to activate that one sketch. And I can now click on this little box right here called Shaded with Edges, and it's going to make it shaded. And we did this before earlier in the year, I think with the Cube project, so it shouldn't be totally foreign to you. That's usually your isometric, your shaded isometric is usually the image that the person looking at your drawing file is going to look at first. They're going to look at that and they're going to say, oh, okay, I know what that piece is. Then they're going to look at these orthographic views, which means 2-dimensional, to find all the additional information on it. Now this is kind of a funky view, and you could probably justify getting rid of it if you don't actually want it. And if you want to, you could just right-click and delete that one view. I'll leave it just for kicks. But if you ever have a top view and a right side view that are identical, or a front and a top or a front and a right, you can always delete one of them. You don't need redundant images. Okay, so we're now going to throw dimensions on here. And I just need you to throw maybe 8 or 10 of the most important dimensions onto this drawing file. So we're going to click on Annotation and Smart Dimension. And what you'll see is it's going to bring in your dimensions for you. So if I click here, I can see the length. And if I click here, I can see the height. And if I click here, I can see the radius of the arc that I used right there. And I probably want to give it the height, show how high we made this thing. Now, we also want to give some information on these knobs too, but that gets trickier. They're so small. So what we can do when we're dimensioning some of this, if we want to be able to blow something up a little bit to make it easier to look at, if I go back to View Layout and I click on Detail View, what I can now do is I can click, and I'll just click right there, and I'm going to expand this box. I'm going to make it look something like that. And what it's going to do is it created a detail view of what's in that circle. Okay, maybe I'll stick it here, or I'll stick it here. I just need to find a nice place where it fits, so I'll just put it right there. And it's called a Detail A it scaled it up to double size. Now, maybe that's big enough, maybe it's not. I could go over here and I could say, actually, I want it to be quadruple size and make it like that. And now that I'm doing that, I think, you know what, maybe I will get rid of this right side view because it's weird and it doesn't really give me any information I didn't already have. I'm going to delete that right side view. I'm going to take this detailed view and I'm going to move it down here because oh, whoops, didn't mean to do that. Let's bring that back. Okay, let's put this right here because maybe this is of more use to me. And now I'll go back to annotation. I can take smart dimension and I can throw some dimensions on here like the height of a knob and maybe the diameter of a knob. Okay, so the whole goal of this is you end up with a drawing file that has most of the information, or ideally all the information, that somebody would need to recreate one of these parts. I'm not going to nitpick it to see, did you get every single little dimension? I just want you to get used to putting together drawing files so that it looks good. Okay, and just like I showed you detailed view that allows you to expand an area, we also have what's called a section view if you ever want to look at an interior part of something to give dimensions to it. We also have auxiliary view, which allows you to look at a slanted surface that may not be represented in one of your 6 views, and I can show you guys how to use all that if you feel like you have a part that you're having a hard time putting dimensions onto. All right, do your 3 most custom parts, load them onto your Google Doc that's linked onto my slide, and then call me over, and that's worth 5 points. All right, good luck.